To answer this question, let's do a little bit of background first. First off, a clause is something that has a subject and a verb. An independent clause would have a subject and a verb and sound like it finishes. For instance, John jumped. A dependent clause would have a weak conjunction at the front, kind of like since John jumped or because John jumped. Now, if you have an independent clause followed by a dependent clause, then you'd have no comma. John jumped because he had shoes. But if you had a dependent clause followed by an independent clause, you need a comma. Because John had shoes, he jumped. And that's exactly what's happening in this question. Because we have in the second sentence, because this is both readily available and high in oxygen, that's a dependent clause right there, because if we wrote that this stuff is both readily available and high in oxygen, that would be an independent clause right there. But with the word because at the front, that makes it dependent. Now, I talk to students about this a lot lately. A lot of people heard in school that you should never start a sentence with the word because. However, in our grammar rules, we find that if you start a sentence with because, that makes it a dependent clause starting the sentence, and that's actually okay. Because John had shoes, he jumped. So this is our dependent clause. And the second part over here in blue, scientists have wondered whether it could be used as a source of oxygen. That is an independent clause. And like we said, dependent followed by independent gets the comma. So that's simply going to be answer choice B here.